Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today you find me in windy West Sussex trying to dodge the wind and the rain, and we're in Hotham Park, which is located in Bognor Regis, but we're here today to have a look around this what was an old estate, Hotham Park, and it's named after the person that created this area, Sir Richard Hotham. And he built this house and this parkland area. Prior to this, this was just open farmland with a few houses snuggled close to the sea, referred to as Great Bognor in the parish of South Bursted. And it became very popular in the 1700s, 1750s to come to the sea for health benefits. Basically, it was regenerative, and the rich and the royalty, King Edward the Fifth, used to come down to Bognor, or Hotham, or as he called it, Hothampton, is what he renamed this area, and he would stay at this residence. He lived in this house not for very long, to be honest. It was built in 1792 and he died in 1799, so only got 7 years in this residence. But got quite an amazing clock tower, but we'll spin around the other side to have a look at that. So this is the clock tower, and it is still working. This clock mechanism is 200 years old, along with the bell right in the top of the clock tower. The bell was made by the same foundry in London that made Big Ben. So it's in good pedigree, the bell in this tower. And clock mechanism still works even after 200 years. Has a 13-foot pendulum down inside with an 11-inch disc at the bottom, and it takes 2 seconds for the pendulum to swing in each direction. Here we can see the back of the house, and most people will come to this location because this is where the public toilets are located in Hotham Park. But where the clock tower stood, there was also a small chapel in this area, and this was destroyed. The house was bought up by a new owner, and he later demolished it, but the chapel was there so that the royalty and the super rich that were coming down to Hothampton have a private place for them to pray. As well as having the clock tower, we've also got a sundial here. So one of the reasons you might want to come down to Hotham Park is it has an amazing selection of trees. And that is because when Richard Hotham died, his estate and this building was sold off to pay his debts. Went to Thomas Smith, who then sold it on to a guy called John Fletcher. And it was his son that planted all of these trees. So the park became public in the 1940s and was bought by the council, who have looked after it ever since, and seems to be doing a pretty good job. Got some lovely smooth pathways. We often come down here with our children and they can rollerblade and skateboard. It's also popular with dog walkers. The council have put these sculptures in, and it makes for a nice day out on a summer's day. So all of these sculptures are themed after Alice in Wonderland, and we've got the Mad Hatter here. The carvings were funded by Hotham Park Heritage Trust from the proceeds raised at the 2016 Country Fair. Lovely little seating area here. We've got some plaques on there. This leaf was placed to celebrate the life of Ray Gaunt, a wonderful human and the mighty oak of our family tree. That's lovely, isn't it? We've got some memorials to people, all put on this collective bench. You can see as we wander through the park, there's just a really wild array of trees. I can't name them, to be brutally honest. Sad that that's the case. I think we have lost a lot of our heritage. At one point, every young man would be able to name every single tree and know whether it's good for making fire or making buildings. So here we've got the white rabbit. He's late for a date. It's great that they've left some of the fallen trees here in the park as well, because these become homes for insects. This particular one is the children's favourite, because as you can see, they like to slide up and down the tree. It's absolutely polished from children that will sit up there and then slide down the trunk. It said on the information board that back in the days of Sir Richard Hotham, this was all marshland, and he built this narrow lawn towards the sea, and he'd built this house in this location because it was far enough away from the sea so that it wouldn't get sprayed with all of the salt, but the open land all the way to the sea, so he could see as far as the sea from his house. And we can see a little bit here, there still is a bit of marshiness in the land, so albeit the trees help suck up all of that water. Another amazing sculpture here. This one's named after EWRR tigers, and on the end there, the Who. And here we find Alice of Alice in Wonderland fame, with her little bottle she's got there to make her big or small. And here we have the Queen of Hearts yelling at the top of her voice. Here we have the rock garden. Little pond down here. Lovely flowers. Here it tells us a bit more about the range of trees planted here. As I said, it was William Fletcher that planted those. He was born in 1852 in Broadwater, Worthing, and died in 1899. He inherited Bursted Lodge and named it Aldwick Manor. It is now called Hotham Park House. So actually here we've got a list of all of the different trees that we've got in the park. Scan down so you can have a little look. Quite a wide array. Italian cypress. Yeah. China, North America, Chile. Yeah, from all the way around the world here. And right here we've got a little picture showing you what the estate looked like back in 1877. We've got more of the stones from the rock garden scattered around here. Lots of lumps and bumps in this park, and said before, some of this was marshland, but I don't know whether these lumps and bumps have been made to make it look more spectacular by some of the previous owners of the parkland, or whether they're just natural formations. One of the reasons that you may come to Hotham Park is there is a miniature railway here, so popular with families and children. You can hop on this engine, which is stored in this big green shed down there, and get a little ride around the park. private garden over here. Secret garden. Some roses in. Lovely colours. Managed to come at the right time, albeit I've come here just specifically because it is so windy. I don't know whether you can see it there. I don't want to keep going on about the weather, but the weather this year is absolutely terrible. 14 degrees the temperature today. That's the temperature that we were getting in December, and we're in July. So yeah, really not great weather. Here we've got the cafe. I think it was built in 2015, 2018, and super popular, this cafe. I've eaten there many a time, and they do some really good food. So it's a great addition to Hotham Park and the local community. Very popular people. As you can see, probably coming down for their breakfast. And right next to the boating lake. So I've got these pedalos being wheeled out, and looks like you can pay £7.50 for half an hour on the boating. Some great old lamps here, haven't we? Not sure what time frame they date from, but nice to see they haven't been replaced with LED units. As I was saying before, some big old lumps and bumps in the park. So when we went to the place of the south-bursted warrior, he was buried in one of these mounds. I'm sure there's no warriors buried in this. Lovely selection of spring flowers in the park today. So I've touched on this in last week's video. It's sad to see we're seeing more and more of this over in West Sussex at the moment, but looks like we've got some homeless people living in a tent inside the park. That's not the first time I've seen it. Yeah, the south coast, the house prices have rocketed, wages haven't. So the natural effect of that is, unfortunately, it's going to force people out of properties, either into vans. Last week's video was about van life, or into tents. Over in the northwest corner of the park, we've got the Discovery Gardens. Might be a Scots pine mitred it, I think. Oh, very colourful display of flowers there. So I think this is this area here is used by some of the local schools for woodland talk. Not that I really know what they're teaching the children in their woodland stuff, but they do try and get them out in nature. Probably not as much as they should do, but doesn't seem to be a huge amount to discover in the Discovery Gardens. It's a nice little place to walk, but today I said earlier, it's just cold. My hands, I feel like I need to be wearing gloves, to be honest, today. It's that cold. Off to my left, you can probably hear the busy roads of Bognor just building up. We are in the centre of Bognor, and this is a lovely little escape from the urbanisation that we have all the way along the south coast. Now, we found Mr. Squirrel. Sorry I haven't got Ray with me today, and I haven't got any peanuts, but we'll come back another day and feed you. The squirrels in this park are super friendly. Hello. Like I said, me and my daughter quite often come to this park and we bring some monkey nuts, and she likes to hand feed the squirrels. When we came on our last visit, I think we counted, it was a ridiculous number, something like 45 squirrels in the park. Mr. Squirrel. They're so used to humans. Actually, when we've been here previously, I did see a man, and he had the squirrels on him. They were he was hand feeding the squirrels and they were climbing all over him. You are super friendly, aren't you? Got a bit of red on him as well, hasn't he? The natural squirrel for this area is the red squirrel, but I think it was the French brought in the grey squirrel because they like to eat them, sadly, and the grey squirrel has outperformed the red squirrel. There is a park here if you want to bring your kids to Hotham Park. Really good park, gets really busy. I've got here early to try and avoid the crowds. Yeah, not knowing there's going to be a park run on, so it's going to get super busy shortly. So green, the park, and lovely to have a park. I mean, we've got parks in the area, but to have a park with such a large selection of different types of trees is amazing. Right here we've got one of the money-making opportunities in Hotham Park, and that is crazy golf. So just behind all of these trees over here is the Bognor Regis Butlins Resort. So a lot of people come to Bognor on their holidays and they want to do stuff. So we've got crazy golf, a model of the clock tower shown earlier in Hotham Park, with fake stones and animals. And over on this area is the car park that most people use to visit Hotham Park. Looks like you might use that area there for bowling, and sadly this area has sort of been left a little derelict. It does look like that there was some kind of water feature here previously. Even got the grates there, I guess, to let the water through. Let me know if you know what this area used to look like. Hopefully the council will redevelop that at some point soon. So this was the 1700s version of a freezer. It's an ice house. So this building was built with these big thick walls, as you can see if we come to the main door, probably like a 2-foot wall made of brick and stone, and that keeps the insides of this building extremely cold. So what they would do is they'd build these near to a spring or a water course, and when the water would freeze during the winter, the ice would be collected and then popped into this ice house. Once it was in there, it would be covered with straw or other insulating material to try and keep the temperature low in there, so you could have ice all year round. So I'm going to end the video here at the ice house. Thank you very much for watching this short video from Hothampton or Bognor Regis in West Sussex. If you'd like to see more content related to landscape, heritage and nature, if you could just subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.